Good morning and happy blessed Friday. I was thinking about something. What I'm clear about is as a mother and as a woman raising a young black male, there was no way, whether my child was a male or female, there was no way that I could have done it without his dad. And particularly young males need father figures. They need the influences. They need to be able to look up to them and learn things that, as a woman, I could never teach my son. And in knowing that, one, let me say, I know some people don't necessarily have that as an option. I know that there are people who have children and for various reasons, maybe they don't have that other parent around. But there is a balance of things, particularly in relationships and when raising kids. And so in knowing that as a woman, there were things that I could not give my son that a man could, I made sure that I did not make it feel burdensome or create unnecessary issues or troubles when it came time for schedule changes, time shared, birthdays, events, life in general, right? Anything regarding our child, whether it was an update with school, something going on with his health, I made sure that his dad knew, right? If he was sick, if he got in trouble, if he was with me, it was my job as the other parent to communicate that with his dad. If he needed help, whatever the struggle or issue was at hand. And just knowing that I could potentially stand in the way of my son and his dad's relationship, that took a lot of emotional intelligence, a lot of maturity. It makes me think about and pose the question, do you know young women who don't have a mother figure or did not have a mother figure in their life, or other women who were able to step in and be that role model? And then do you know a young man who didn't have a father figure or other men in his life to step in and be those father figures? And for the women and the young men, what does that look like now? And I wonder if you ever asked a young man who didn't have a dad around or other men to model for them what that looked like, what he would say, how he would feel if he were able to express it from a place of not anger or sadness or frustration. And then do you know a young woman who didn't have women in their lives to model, to rear, to teach, to guide, and what that looks like? And regardless if it's a male or female, that I'm sure that there are areas where they struggle, whether it be when they were younger or now. And so keeping in mind that maturity and intelligence are extremely important when raising children. And you model that for them, right? And so knowing that a child is in part of the other parent, what kind of messaging do you want to send them? Do you want them to think that you don't love or care for that other parent, which speaks about parts of that child, speaks of them, right? So an example, if I'm constantly talking shit about my son's father in front of him, how does he internalize that, and what does he then begin to start thinking about himself? If a young boy, rather a young woman, hears his father or other people around talking shit about their mom, how do you think it makes her feel? And how do you think it makes a child feel? So just being very careful, and being very wise and very understanding and mature to not tear other parents down and not to keep parents from their children, because both play a wonderful, beautiful role in the upbringing. And then if there are other mature people that are part of the process, that are entering into the relationship and love and want to add to what the parents are already building in the children's foundation, that's fine. But again, the two people who had the kids, that is their responsibility, and they should freely be able to make decisions uninterrupted. And then everyone else is extra. So just a thought. And that's why it's important to be mindful of who you bring into your children or child's life. So thanks for listening. I love you. Happy Blessed Friday.